Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for a slightly newer release. It's been a while since I've done any album reviews on any newer releases. I've just been really fucking lazy. I can believe the last one I did was for the new Watane, that was back in like January or February when I did that. So yeah, but this is for Devouring Mortality by Skeletal Remains. A friend of mine told me about this band, and I've gotten fucking hooked on them since then, which was like a couple weeks ago. And they're really kick-ass. They're an old school, like they aren't an older death metal band. They're a newer death metal band. I believe they started in 2011, but they play a more old school style of death metal, kind of akin to old Pestilence, like consuming Impulse era, but with a little bit more of a low end kick to it, mixed with a little bit of like self-titled era Deicide and spiritual healing era Death. But it doesn't sound like they're just aping those bands, which is something that's really cool. It does have a little bit of originality to it, and it's very memorable. It's not generic at all. So, yeah, this was released on April 13th, 2018. Just a little bit late to the party, but who cares? Like I already said, it's like an old school death metal album, basically. They're on Dark Descent Records, which is a great fucking label for death metal right now. They're actually from Whittier, California, which isn't extremely far from where I live, so it's kind of cool that they're a slightly more local band. And it's their third full length so far. So, first thing I could say really about this album is that, like, the production-wise, it's really fucking good because it's not too clean. Like, it's more on the clean side. It's not super nasty and slimy sounding, but it's a lot more on the clean side, but it's not too clean or overproduced to the point where it's super sterile and boring and, like, it drags away from the songs. So that's one of the things I really like about it. The drums on this album are in really good sync with the guitar riffs, which is something that's really cool. The rhythm section of this band absolutely kicks ass. Like, the guitar tone and the drum tone are really good. They aren't extremely unique sounding, but it doesn't sound like generic fucking guitar distortion. Like, it does, the guitars do sound really good. They just aren't, it's not like a super instantly recognizable tone for a band like, say, like Obituary or Dying Fetus. But this isn't a problem at all. It's just an observation, I guess. But yeah, the drums have a lot of low end, especially in the double kicks. So yeah, the vocals are very nasty and remind me a lot of Martin Van Drunen from Pestilence and Asphyx, mixed with a little bit of Riley Gale from Power Trip, which is weird because Power Trip's a thrash metal band, but they have like that youthful kind of kick-ass, pissed-off energy to them, which is really cool. So they're nasty as fuck, but they're also very youthful and energetic, which is something I really like. Occasionally, like, the guitar leads on this album are really fucking good because they grab you by the ear, which is something that's really nice for death metal. Because usually with death metal, you gotta pay attention to catch the solos, like, or else you won't really notice them, or you'll just be kind of oblivious to them while they're happening. But with the solos on this album really like grab you, which is something that's really cool. And occasionally the solo work reminds me a lot of like spiritual, like the harmonies remind me a lot of like spiritual healing and maybe even human or death, which is something that's really cool because I really like the lead work on those albums. The bass is slightly inaudible, but that's not a problem at all because it's death metal, and this album already has a fuck ton of low end, and it's really bassy sounding to begin with. The bass is just a little bit more, it's not quite as, like, loud in the mix, but like I said, it's not a huge problem at all, and it's like that with most death metal. It's kind of hard to hear the bass in general, but yeah. Occasionally on the album, there's like a more Slayer-like kind of groove. Like, they'll slow down in some parts of the songs. It reminds me a lot of like the slower parts of Rain and Blood, like the beginning of Jesus Saves or Criminally Insane, which is really cool. The song structure is really great and it's extremely memorable. Like, the more you listen to the album, you'll recognize certain parts of certain songs. So it's not like the songs are like super boring and forgettable, and it just sounds like they're ripping off old school death metal. Like, it is really genuinely good songwriting. They're very memorable. And just the transitions with the rhythm are just spot on and so satisfying to hear. There's just so many endless killer fucking riffs that are very memorable on this album. Where if you're into old school death metal and like if you love that subgenre, you will love this fucking album because it has so many riffs reminiscent of that, but they don't sound directly like they just stole it from like an older death metal band and then just kind of changed a note or two. Like, they sound like original riffs, but they still sound like it's still like the riffs sound like they came out in like 1992 or 91. And this album really just makes you want to headbang. The second you hear it, you want to start headbanging and windmilling. It's really fun and energetic. It just simply really feels really good to listen to. But being as heavy as it is, it just kind of grinds away at you while you're listening to it, which is badass. Like, you know, it's so satisfying because it's heavy, but you're like, it's fun though. It's one of those kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. The term grinding away at you just makes me think like a heavy album that's also fun. I don't know. I'm weird. At the end of the album, there's actually a cover this is on the Deluxe Edition, there's a cover of Hung, Drunk, and Quartered from Cancer, which is awesome because that's a great song from Cancer. It's one of their best songs, and it's really cool to hear Skeletal Remains' interpretation of that song. The album being almost 50 minutes long, it's 47 minutes and 56 seconds long. It does tend to drag on a little bit, but it doesn't get boring in any parts. That's just a personal preference for me. So yeah, I prefer my death metal albums to be around half an hour to 40 minutes long, so I'm just weird. But, it doesn't get boring, and there's no bad songs. I definitely have to say the standout tracks, though, are the first song, Ripperology, Seismic Abyss, which is definitely my favorite song. There's a part of that song that reminds me a lot of Sacrificial Suicide by Deicide, which is my favorite Deicide song. So that's cool. And the title track, Devouring Mortality, is also awesome and has some killer riffs. But like I said, there isn't a single bad song on the album. But yeah, it's just really great. If you like old school death metal, you'll love this album. But if you're looking for some slightly more original, like, it's not extremely original or unique, but it's just, they're just playing an old school style of death metal, but they aren't ripping anybody off, which is what I like about it a lot. But yeah, I'd have to give this album an 8 out of 10. It's really damn good if you're into death metal, or even if you're not into death metal, but you just want a really good, more heavy metal album, like just heavier, extreme metal album. Definitely check this out. It has a very old school sound to it, but it has a little bit of a modern edge production-wise. But yeah, so Skeletal Remains, Devouring Mortality. Check it out if you haven't. It's fucking awesome. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.